All right. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday. Hope everyone had a good Mother's Day. I think everybody that's on here right now is a mother. So I hope your Mother's Day was really good. I know ours was super low key, probably like everybody else's was, but it was great. I had like all the kids were here. So that was a definite positive blessing for me. I told Joe last night we took a picture of just me and the kids, and I can't even tell you the last time that I had a picture of just me and the kids. So, and it's those kind of things like we never think about, or at least I don't anyways. And because I'm usually the one taking the pictures, so I never think about the fact that I don't even have that. But um, so hopefully you guys got some pictures with your kiddos yesterday and just had a good day overall. But I wanted to start off Monday with a bit about goals. I feel like our work with me's on Mondays are a little bit different just because they're kind of setting us up for the week as far as what our plans are for the week, what our goals are for the week, and that sort of thing. But before we do that, I do want to take a minute and have us write down. I never know like where you guys are at, like when you're listening or anything like that, but write down three things that you're grateful for. And let's start our day off with gratitude, because sometimes things happen during the day and it kind of starts our day off not with gratitude. So let's regroup and start our day off with gratitude. I try to do this every single day, so it kind of sets the mode for, my whole entire day, but especially for the week. So let's just go ahead and take a few minutes and write down three things that we are grateful for, and let's start our week off like that. So just take a couple of minutes and jot some things down in your calendar. Good morning, Emily. Good morning, Carrie.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right. First thing we did was start our day off with gratitude. So we were just writing down three things that we're grateful for. I actually wrote down more than three. I try to just sit there and keep writing whenever I'm writing down things that I'm grateful for. And I try to put that in my calendar right in front of me so that as I'm looking at it, like those things are just kind of resonating with me all the time. So, so I wanted to start our day off like that. And then if you have not put your 3 steps in your stories, then let's go ahead and do that and get your 3 steps in there. If you have done that, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and scroll over and go ahead and start commenting on some stories. I always start with Instagram and then move over to Facebook. So that's where I'll be for the next 4 or 5 minutes. We're going to go ahead and do that. So if you haven't got your 3 steps in there, do that, and then go ahead and start with your commenting there. morning, Jessica. For those popping in late, we started our day off writing 3 things that we were grateful for or more. And then what we're doing right now is we're adding our 3 steps to our stories, and then we're going to go ahead and do our conscious comments in the stories. And I'm inside of Instagram is where I am doing that. Good morning, Amanda. All right, we've got a couple more minutes to do our comments inside of our stories up top. I had this girl from UK cold message me, or can y'all hear me? Yeah, cold message me the other day. First of all, that always makes me cringe when I get a cold message, but and it was all about how much money she was, or how much money people were making in her company. And it was all about money. Everything was about money. And so of course I tried to flip the script and ask her how long she had been with her company, and you know, respected her hustle and all those sorts of things. She'd only been with them for 3 months. But never anything about her products. And this morning, and I looked, and it was some sort of like weight loss quick fix thing. And here she is this morning on her story guzzling coffee. So I'm like, oh, these people. Anyways, funny. So I'm going to keep digging at her, but it made me cringe because I probably used to do the same thing. Not necessarily about money, but cold messaging people. And I don't even know who this girl is, you know? So I'm like, oh. And if she had looked at my page at all, she would know, you know what I mean? So it's just funny. That was on Instagram though, so she would have had to go to my profile and look and do her homework, but most of them don't. All right, so while we're finishing up commenting on our stories that we have in there, go ahead and kind of make a plan of what your stories are going to be today. It's Monday. For me, Motivational Monday is a big thing. It kind of sets my week off. I know some of the teams like kind of pick a word for the week that you're going to kind of concentrate around, whether it's strength or whether it's impact or whether, whatever you're wherever you're wanting to go, for the week. And so for me being Monday, what I'm going to do is I am going to find a motivational quote that means something to me personally, something that that really resonates with me. And I am going to find a picture of myself that I've taken. If you guys haven't been taking pictures of yourself using your phone and your timer, whether you have a light or you don't, go outside, take a bunch of pictures at one time. That way you can save them and use them along the way. I have tons of pictures in my phone where I'll go outside if I happen to get dressed and put makeup on and that sort of thing. And I'll snap 10, 15 pictures, and then I'll use them all throughout the way. So I have a big album of things that I can use. And so I'll just grab one of those today if I didn't happen to get dressed and do my hair and those things. And then I'll find that motivational quote. And what I'll do is I'll go inside of WordSwag. I think you can do the same thing inside of Pic Collage. I'm sure you can do it inside of Canva. I just know my way around WordSwag the best. But there's an area in there where you can lighten your image so that your quote pops out versus your image. And so a lot of times you'll get a lot of comments and likes and loves on that sort of thing. And you can even put a business spin on it if you want. I've had a lot of traction on the ones that I put a business spin in my verbiage versus on my picture or what have you. So that's my goal for today, is to get that post up. And what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to use whatever post I use. I'll turn around and maybe use it on Instagram tomorrow or the next day, or something like that, so that some of the time I've already done the work for the content. I'm just going to turn around and publish it somewhere else, as far as that goes. So that's one of the goals for today, is to find your quote for this week, and then kind of get creative. If you need help with that, or you don't know how to do it, by all means ask. I go to Pinterest a lot. And then anytime I go to Pinterest and get quotes or different things like that, I'll snapshot it and put it in my Pinterest album or my board, but I'll turn around and recreate it. I didn't know that those things were embedded, but apparently they are. So it makes a big difference if you make your own, okay? So that's, one of my goals as far as this week goes. So write that down as far as what you're doing with your post, as far as your motivational quote, that sort of thing. It's Motivational Monday. The other thing that today is, if you need ideas for, it's kind of a weird day today for National Day. It's National Eat What You Want Day, National Twilight Zone Day, if anybody wants to know that, and National Women's Checkup Day. So it's maybe a good day to do something about health, something about, so you could kind of wrap a post around that as well. So those are just some ideas for posts as far as that goes. All right, so let's go ahead. I know last week we talked about making goals for, we were kind of all working inside of Instagram, trying to make different goals for how many new followers we were going to get. Did anybody or did everybody or anybody go in and get a unfollow app? Did you guys do that? Did you? It's okay if you did not. Okay. You did, Denise? Okay. The one I wrote down, or the one that I use, actually does tell me, and it allows me to unfollow them right there. So I didn't have to write names down and technically go in and do it. I literally could do it from right there. So that's something that you want to do to kind of clean that area up. I can show you the one I have. I've had it for a long time. I just never used it a lot. Mine looks like people. Can you see it? It says unfollow, and it looks like those 3 people right there. And the app just says, actually the app says followers. That's what it says. That's the one I have. And it's a free one. So that's something that you definitely want to do if you haven't done that, is do the homework and go in as you're setting your goal for the amount of follower. I was too shy because I had a goal of like 30 or 40 new ones this week. Actually, I think it was 30. and I got all but 2. So, so I'm going to add that to my goal for this week. So, you can find those sort of things inside of Insights, of course, inside of your Instagram to kind of see what is working for you. It's super important that you do your own testing with that, with your analytics. Having that business account will definitely do that for you. So now if we'll head over to, so write that down. If you didn't do that this week, you definitely kind of want to keep tabs on that. As I go to my Instagram every day and look at my, look to see who's following, if I see that number go up, first of all, if I see the number go up, then I'm going to go in and create some sort of message to the person that followed me, whether it be a voice clip, because I learned that last week, doing a voice clip inside of their messaging area there, something about developing the relationship, or looking forward to it, that sort of thing, or just sending them a message, so make sure you're kind of keeping track of who those people are. And then we're going to go ahead and head over to Facebook. And that's where we're going to make that post later today with our picture and our saying on it. And then a reminder that tomorrow is Transformation Tuesday. So if you go inside of Thrive Strong and you type in transformation, you should see that reel pop up with all of those posts on it. And you can do the same thing where I thought about that this week, about knowing how much some of these people have lost. Like, I don't know some of the numbers on them. So I think the ones that I picked to use, I might do the same thing where I fade out their picture and then write, this is my friend such and such, she's lost 27 pounds, or, something like that on there so that pops out as far as my post goes. So I think I'm going to do that. I have that down on my list to go in and ask some of them how much they've lost, so that whichever ones I choose to use. You can also do that in a story and kind of create a little bit of a movie with it, or you can add story after story with that as far as just kind of showing people that have lost. But I think that's good to know, kind of where they are with that. So inside of Facebook, let's go to your page. If you have not tagged yourself in your picture yesterday, a lot of us took pictures yesterday, go ahead and go inside and click on the picture that you posted yesterday and tag yourself in it. I've been getting a tremendous amount of goodness out of that. Like huge differences in the amount of people that are commenting and seeing stuff and that kind of thing. So we'll do that. And then on your profile, if you have it locked down where you have to approve things, make sure that you're clicking on those 3 dots and you're going to review timeline. Because unless you go to review timeline, because I get a lot of notifications all during the day. So what I'll do at some point in the day during my time block for that is I'll click on review timeline, and I will go ahead and go in and comment on, the people that tagged me and stuff. Like this morning, I blew out all the congratulations posts, and they're not on my wall, but I made sure I loved on those people in that area. But that way it's not kind of showing up all at one time. Oh, I didn't even see this one. See? And as you're in there, take a look at your background photo, your cover photo, take a look at your profile photo. If you haven't switched those up, that's another easy way to get a lot of activity. If you change your profile picture, I try to make sure that my profile picture always has something with my DFT in it. I try to make sure it's only a picture of me. And then my background picture, I've kind of switched that up to family pictures. Because that says something about me, or it could be one of your 5 things, and as far as that part of it goes. Sometimes we put quotes in back there that kind of represents our 5 things as far as what we stand for, that kind of thing. So definitely take a look at that this week. I try to go in and change that about once a week. With my profile picture, what I do, you can go in and you can set it to be a temporary profile picture. I do it that way, and I set it for a week, and then I get a notification that it's switched back, and then that's my trigger to go in and change it. So like yesterday, mine switched back. I got that notification, and then I was like, oh, I need to go in and switch that out. So I went in and switched it out. So that's just it's like my alarm clock going off for me to know that I need to go in and change that. And so while we're in Facebook, let's go ahead and go to the 3 lines at the bottom, and then we're going to go to the most recent post. That should be up top for you. If you use that a lot, you're going to notice it goes more to the top the more you use it. If you don't see that, then go to the see more button, and then you'll find your most recent posts in there. And then go ahead and comment on some of the ones that you see in there. For me, a lot of times it's groups, because some of my groups go nuts. So I kind of have to either decide to post something in those groups right then, or make it a point to later in the day. But I try to go in and find people to comment on. So we'll take a couple of minutes and do that. There's also been some really good stories on the fan page lately that I'll probably do the same thing with, as far as fade out the picture a little bit or do something to it, maybe post it on a different background and then share the verbiage from the story on the fan page. As I see those, typically what I do is I go in and save those, and then I go to my saved area. And then that way I kind of have a whole library of things that I can share from. There was one on there the other day that somebody didn't feel something until day 7. I always like saving those because a lot of times people aren't day 1 thrivers, or they're sampling and they're wondering why they didn't feel anything. So I have that, I try to have some of those in my back pocket for people that don't feel something right away. Okay. As we're finishing up with that, one thing you want to make sure that we're going to do, and I'll remind you about this later in the week, but make sure that today is the 11th, so we have 4 more days until auto ship. So you want to make sure that you go into your cloud office and you go over to your next auto ship people. Click on that twice underneath your customers, and then it's going to show you who's about to run for the 15th. What I do is I contact my people that are going to run on the 15th and follow up once again with them to see how they're doing, see if they want to add anything, see if they want to change their DFT, their shake flavor, whatever. If I haven't, touched them lately about thriving for free, then I go ahead and touch them about thriving for free at that point too. So you want to make sure that you go ahead and do that bit of customer service, because it does make a big deal as far as that part goes. And another thing I wanted to touch on is a couple things that I heard, I think it was Friday when I was running. I was listening to something, and a couple of things stuck out to me. And one of them was talking about your successes, and your successes have absolutely nothing to do with what your rank is. It has nothing to do with how many customers you've signed up, how many promoters you've signed up. It has absolutely nothing to do with any of that. What it does have to do with is your story, your success as far as who you were before you started thriving and where you're at in your journey right now. That success story is what you have, and it's the biggest tool that you have. We all know that our story is important and things like that, but a lot of times people associate that with the fact that they hit 4K or they hit 12K. And I think that's awesome. But the fact is, what got you there was what you're doing in your body first thing in the morning, and the difference between who you were before you started thriving and what's happening in your body. I know I heard something, and I've definitely used it a few times, as far as, there is no before and after as far as thriving goes. There's a before and a during, because our story changes all the time. I know if you asked me what my story was in the very beginning, it's completely different than it is now, as far as, because in the beginning I wasn't a grandma. I wasn't, I didn't do a lot of things that I can do now. And so it just kind of evolves all the time. So I wanted just to remind you that that is one of the biggest things that you have, is the success as far as what's going on in your body. What is the difference between, who you were and where you are right now? That's the success story that you concentrate on. Okay. Because that's the part, when somebody, you mention something about thrive to someone, and what they want to know is what it's going to do for them. They don't care how successful you've been. They don't care how much money you've made. They don't care. Like, what they want to know is, what's it going to do for me? They want to know less about you and more about what it's going to do for them. So that's why that part of your story resonates so much with people. So you want to make sure that you're understanding that that's the success that we're talking about. It's not the success of a new car or a new, whatever it may be. And we celebrate those things, but that's not what our sole concentration on is, because that your success is what's happened, as far as your journey along the way inside of your body, and that sort of thing. So another thing that I learned was to always be a collector of receipts. And what that means is, when you're checking on your people and they say, oh my gosh, like this one I won't use, but I had one lady that was so excited she was pooping every day the other day, and I can totally relate to that. But the point is, it's the good things that they say back. Okay. And so if you noticed my post the other day that I did, like I did a graphic, I made the graphic. I didn't use the company graphic, with the watermelon and the strawberry plus line product of Activate. And I said, hey, I need some help. Can you tell me what this product is doing for you? Blah, blah, blah. What I was doing is collecting receipts, because what I can do is I can turn around and recreate that graphic, and then I can put some of the verbiage that people wrote as far as why they use it and what it's doing for them. So that's collecting receipts as far as how something is working for them. It's also collecting a receipt when you're checking on somebody and they say, oh my gosh, I slept better last night than I have in such and such. And then same thing, you post the 3 steps if you want, and then you embed that verbiage in there, and of course scratch out their picture, whatever you're doing with it. But just like anything else, you know, referral is the biggest thing that you can go off of. And whether it be somebody is personally referring to you or it's a referral by word of mouth. And that's kind of by word of mouth whenever you're using their words in your posts, okay? So try to create some things like that that you can collect, be a receipt collector, okay? Because people go by personal testimonies. And that's what all of those comments on my post were. Whether they were thrivers or not, it was personal testimonies. And you would be surprised at the amount of promoters that messaged me on our team and said, hey, it's Mother's Day. I'm totally going to take advantage of this 15% off thing. I saw your post about Activate. I'm totally going to add one of those. What is there any other plus line that you would recommend besides that one? Because I'm going to splurge a little on myself. And so it didn't just work for people that were commenting or for people to see it, because I had a lot of comments and I had a lot of likes on that post. So it was always to the top. But it also worked because people on our team saw it and they saw how it was working for everyone else versus just going in and reading about it themselves. Okay, so that is a business post. And so I did a lot of different things with that, but be a collector of receipts, because that's the biggest thing you have. Is what other people's experiences are with that product. So kind of like a three-way call, but yet I got way more than a three-way call out of that post, okay? So that was something that I learned and I was like, oh, that's really smart. So I started thinking, okay, how can I recreate that so that, you know, that I can make it my own and then ask a question and then all those sorts of things. So those are just some ideas to give you. And you could highlight a different, you know, plus line product. And I had somebody mix them. They were mixing like watermelon with candy cane or something. And the whole idea of that, I wasn't sure about, but they said it was really good. I don't know. I haven't tried that, but you can learn a lot from different things with people's, you know, posting as far as that part of it goes. And frankly, this has bothered me for a while, just like it has Jason Camper, where our Activate should be like one of the #1 selling products, because it's that afternoon pick me up for people that, I mean, you know, you've heard of other companies and there's a couple out there that are very well known for those particular products. So even if we got somebody started on just that one product, at least we got them in the door to start using it and start thinking about other products. So for me, I'm always about the 3 steps, okay? But if I can get them through the door any other way, by all means, I'm gonna get them through the door any other way. I told Joe the other day, I was like, I am praying to God that they drop a $25 free customer account credit thing here shortly, because we could just eat that up with that, because, you know, gosh, they would have that product for $25 plus shipping or whatever. But those are just some ideas to think about as you're working through the week this week. You know, some business post ideas and some different things to gather through the week. I know Tiffany is hosting the Work With Me Zoom tonight, and I think she has a call as well. I did that live inside the page this morning regarding points. Some people got 5, some people didn't get 5, some people aren't in it. The point is, it's not about the points. The points are great and it gives us that motivating factor, but the point is we're all showing up, we're all being consistent, and we're all working together, which is a very, very big deal. And we have people doing things that don't normally do it, you know what I mean? And so it's gotten a lot of people doing things that and every single team, I will say that, is doing something that they don't normally do. And our numbers definitely reflect that. I mean, like, I was like astonished at like what was going on inside. And it's just because people are excited. The more they talk about things, the more they say things out loud, the more they get excited. So, so just remember that within your own teams. And if you need to speak, I'll create another reel this week where you can go in and ask. And just because somebody isn't asking you to speak, or they haven't said, hey, you know, and just, you know, if you put it on there that, hey, I'm available or whatever, go on there and look and see who else commented and contact them. Make the first move, contact them and say, hey, I saw you needed a speaker. I'm here. What time, you know, can you do it? So that's out of your comfort zone, I know, but those are the kinds of things that grow your business, the things that get you out of your comfort zone like that. So lots of things are going on with that kind of thing. So, but I'm excited. It's Monday. There's nothing better than starting your day with a positive note like that. So I'm super excited. You guys did amazing last week with how many points everybody got. So I'll see you tonight on the Zoom. And Deanna, I hope you feel better, sister. Yes. And for me, Jessica, we're getting to know people we didn't know. you know, and hearing stories we haven't heard before. And that there's nothing more that feeds my fire than that. You know, it's just one of those soul food kind of things when you hear people speak. So, so let's continue to do that. And you guys have a good rest of the day. I'm here if you need me, holler. And we'll talk to you. I'll see you tonight on the Zoom with Tiffany. Okay, bye.